Hello, welcome to News Now. I am Omobolanli Adeshui. Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara State Monday has banned the riding of motorcycles from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Gusau town. He directed the security personnel to shoot at sight anyone found violating the new order. The measure, according to the governor, was taken by the Security Council following reports on the use of motorcycles by bandits and other criminals to perpetrate their criminal activities within the state capital and its outskirts. He said, quote, considering the recent invasion of bandits in some areas on the outskirts of Gusau, the state capital, riding of motorcycles is hereby banned from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in all areas in outskirts of Gusau town. The governor stressed that the security of lives and property of the citizenry was the basic function of any government. He said, quote, my administration is doing everything humanly possible in accordance with the laws of the land to ensure the discharge of this responsibility, end of quote. And still on security in the country, in Zamfara State, Governor Bello Matawalle has directed the task force on security to embark on a house-to-house search to flush out criminal elements in the 19 emirates of the state. Matawalle gave the directive during the broadcast to the people of Zamfara in the early hours of Tuesday in Gusau. The broadcast was preceded by an expanded Security Council meeting that lasted for more than 8 hours. The governor said the measure was part of an effort to restore law and order and assure peace in the state. He urged the emirs who are part of the council meeting to be vigilant and report suspicious persons or strange movements in their respective domains to security agents. Meanwhile, the council charged security operatives, particularly military and police, efforts are up in combating banditry and other criminal activities in the state. At the Federal Operations Unit, FOU Zone A Nigeria Customs Service has stated that the unit has handed over a total of 3,851 kg of Indian hemp known as cannabis sativa worth 308 million naira to the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA). Speaking to journalists, the Acting Comptroller FOU Zone A, Acting Comptroller Hussein Ejibono, said two suspects, Ebuka Mbamalu and Eruka Chita, were arrested in connection to the cannabis along the Ogeri-Ilaro Expressway. According to him, the two suspects, however, been handed over to the NDLEA for further investigation and prosecution, had possession of 627 kg and 80 parcels of cannabis sativa, respectively. While handing over the suspects to the NDLEA, Ejibono stressed the importance of synergy which was in existence between the customs and the NDLEA. The state commander NDLEA, Khalis Alumona, appreciated the collaboration between the service and the NDLEA. Alumina, who was represented by the Deputy Commander Operations and Intelligence, Lagos State Command, and NDLEA, Mr. Augustine Yusuf, said the synergy between the two agencies will stop cross-border illegal trade and importation of illicit drugs. The Oyo State Police Command, under the astute and dynamic leadership of Top Cop Adebowale Williams, says it remains resolute in making the state undesirable and uninhabitable for criminal-minded and other unscrupulous elements with the adoption of a distinctive and multifaceted crime-tackling approach premised on improved communal partnerships and technology-aided inquiries. Public Relations Officer for the command, Wale Oshifeso, gave this assurance at the force headquarters in Ibadan during the parade of a kidnap syndicate terrorizing Oyo town and its environs.
Background checks on unsuspecting victims and then inform them through writing of his intentions to abduct them unless a stipulated amount of money will be sourced and paid to him. Preliminary investigations has thus revealed that on Thursday, 11th August 2022 at about 0800 hours, members of a notorious kidnapping syndicate sent an handwritten note to the management of a private university institution in Oyo town, wherein they threatened to abduct 3 of its students should the management fail to pay up 10 million naira within a stipulated period of time.
And following weeks of internal wrangling within its fold, the Oyo State Capital chapter of the Labour Party has finally settled for Taufik Tayo Adewale as its governorship candidate in the next year's election. Speaking with newsmen in Ibadan, the foremost journalist promised to reach out to all aggrieved factions in order to position the party in good stead ahead of its contemporaries in a future election. The Labour Party candidate promised to wrest power from the ruling People's Democratic Party and provide visible dividends of democracy to all residents, irrespective of party affiliation and creed.
We are here. You can see our elders, the chairman of all the chairmen, the Elders Consultative Forum, Pa Latif Adegoke is there. And the deputy chairman of our party, who happened to be the chairman of the screening committee, is also here. So, and they have been cleared and been told I am good to contest as the candidate of Labour Party in Oyo State for gubernatorial come 2023 elections.
And the management of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, LAUTECH, Ogbomoso, Oyo State, has called off its union's 6-month-old strike. The institution also announced the date for the commencement of academic activities for the 2021-2022 academic session, which will now resume on Thursday, August 18, 2022. This was contained in a circular signed by the Registrar of the University, Dr. Kayode Ogunleye, on Monday. The statement reads partly upon the directive of the visitor to the university. The management hereby informs all staff and students that the university will continue its academic activities for the first semester of the 2021-2022 academic session on Thursday, August 18, 2022. End of quote. While urging staff and students to abide by the directive, the statement further stated that the amended academic calendar for the semester will soon be made available. The need for the government at all levels to give attention to the education of their children in the country has been stressed by stakeholders in the education sector. Agboje Korea reports that some founders of non-governmental organizations in Lagos State said children not attended to today can be a security threat in the future.
And the educational decadence, especially as it affects out-of-school children, the NGO experts said most of those involved in criminal activities do not have basic education.
If we ensure free quality primary education, we can be able to absorb these children from the streets, thereby stemming the tide of evil that would have befallen the society in the future. Because the insurgency we are seeing today, the armed robbery, the rising in kidnapping and all of that, is as a result of people that did not go to school. So they want to take their pound of flesh from the society. Some people are bitter with the government, they are bitter with society, they are bitter with families because they've not had that privilege to go to school. So if we can, as a matter of urgency, ensure that we bring these children out of school, it will do a lot of good to stem the tide of crime that we have today.
What we do in Arise, we scout, we look around for those deserving and quote underprivileged that require or deserve education. We all desire education, but those that cannot afford. So once we are able to identify them, we now look for a compassionate sponsor who is also not willing to make donation to NGOs, but want to be part of the life of that deserving or underprivileged child. So Arise will serve as a link. We find the child, we find the school, and we inform you, and you make direct payment to the schools. So we'll just be serving as an interface to give you updates on the progress report of that child.
They are of the opinion that government should channel its attention to child education in order to reduce criminal activities in future.
The role of government is to provide sustainable education, security, welfare, and safety, and all whatnot. So, since we are talking about education, it's the role of government to provide basic education for its citizens. And then again, we know the challenges we are facing right now. Many of these schools that are available are not affordable. That's where this question comes in, that what do we do to help those who cannot afford, since we don't have free education at the moment. That is where the NGO comes in, and what the NGO needs to do is to reach out more, to be more involved, to be more practical with the purpose the NGO is set out for.
What I think government should do right now is to create more schools, empower the existing government schools, ensure that they have basic amenities. Because if you go around some primary schools, some government primary schools, some of them have become an eyesore because they have been abandoned. So if there are primary schools that are abandoned by government, they can hand it over to people like us.
About 18.5 million children do not have access to education in Nigeria. IbrandTV reporting for iBrandTV News.